Hey, what's up guys, Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be going over the top 5 meta decks going into the January 2021 format. So, like, we're a good chunk into January, a few days, and we've had a lot of ups and downs this past year in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! We've had the rise and fall of decks like Adamancipator, Shaddoll, Dragon Link, Infernoble Knight. So many decks have lost their popularity, but still, the format continues to forever change as we get some amazing new cards and we get amazing support for new decks. So without further ado, let's jump right into the list. Starting things off at number 5, we have Zodiac. Now, really, Zodiac is carried by Zeus. Like, without Zeus, Zodiac would not be as good. But Zodiac still has a multitude of combos. The deck is very consistent, of course, being the deck with the one card combos, and like, really, it's just such a powerful deck. Sure, with so many hits on the ban list, like Drident limited to 1, which, I mean, I think Drident could come to 2 if they really wanted it to, but Zodiac is just so prevalent right now, I doubt it's gonna happen. They could bring Ratpier to 2, just so that they can't abuse it as much, but they can still use the combo plays. But like, there are so many things that Konami could change about it, but still, like, the deck is super solid, just mainly because of Zeus, and like, it's just a really solid pick going into the format, and that's why it gets my number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, we have Dogmatica. To be more specific, Invoked Dogmatica. Now, this deck is really solid. I've gone up against it a multitude of times, and I've lost a good chunk of times, I have to admit. The deck is very strong, not very fragile, is very consistent, considering that if you draw into an Ecclesia, one of your combo pieces, like, literally, there's like 9 combo pieces starters in the deck, and like, really, you just have so many plays with the deck. It's just such a powerful deck, and it is very consistent. Like, if you draw into Ecclesia, Nadir Servant, Alistair, or like even a Fleur de Lis, you'll still have full combo, and the deck is just so powerful. So that is why it gets my number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, we have Eldritch. Now, there are multiple different types of Eldritch in this format. There's Dragoon Eldritch, which is personally one of my favorite forms of Eldritch, despite how degenerate it is. Zodiac Eldritch, which is a really nice up-and-coming deck. It's a very powerful deck at that, and like, really, it's just so cool. Invoked Dogmatica Eldritch has been one of the front runners in terms of the Eldritch matchups, because the reason it works so well is because you're able to get your Eldritch cards out on your opponent's turn while doing your normal combos with Invoked Dogmatica. And like, sure, you could have put Eldritch in the Invoked Dogmatica section, but I just really think that Eldritch is the main part of the deck. And the thing about the deck is that it covers up its own holes. Like, if your opponent stops your Eldritch plays with like a red reboot, you're still gonna be able to combo off with your Dogmatic Invoked part. If they stop your Invoked, like they stop one of your Magical Meltdowns, you're gonna be able to combo off with your Dogmatica Eldritch side. And it's just a very powerful deck that just covers up all of its holes, and like, is still able to pop off like no other deck can, and that is why it gets my number 3 spot. A very solid deck. Coming in at number 2, we have Virtual World. At this point, Virtual World has become pretty hard to counter. It has hand loops with cards like Gothams and the Carrier, but then it sets up True King of All Calamities on top of that, and at this point, you can't beat that. Like, even then, because like, what the deck does is it like discards 2 cards from your hand, and then it banishes the last 3 cards, and that makes it very hard to do your combo plays when you have literally no cards in your hand and you've basically stopped being able to play, unless you have 1-card combos like Zodiac, which even then Zodiac doesn't really have combos per se. you're not going to be able to do much in terms of stopping your opponent. And like, this deck is just such a powerful control deck. Sure, it does have a few consistency issues, but those have mainly been covered up at this point. And with the new card coming out, and I believe Lightning Vortex, we are gonna have a lot more consistency with the deck, because like, seriously, if you draw into any of your combo pieces, you basically win the game. That deck is just so powerful, very degenerate, but very, very cool, and that is why it gets my number 2 spot. But coming in at number 1, we have the best deck of the format to me, Drytron. This deck is so powerful. Being able to set up the literal turn skip, like, I have to emphasize that heavily. You can skip your opponent's turn with cards, like, it's crazy. Like with the Amorphage Ritual monster, you like the pendulum Amorphage thing, that thing literally locks your opponent out of their main phase 1, and then you have ways of dumping them out of their main phase 2. Literal turn skips. I have to emphasize that, like crazy, and your opponent just can't do anything about it. The deck covers up its consistency holes, but like, it has cards like Drytron Nova, which summons them from the deck, which gives you like an Alpha, which can get you a search. You have cards like Alpha, Zeta, even literally all of the Drytron cards have amazing consistency power, and they get you bodies on the field while still giving you a lot of power. And then you have cards like the Megalith cards with Megalith full and maybe 2 Bethor and 1 Ophiel. Like, you just get so much free advantage off of it, and then you can set up a Vanity's Ruler on top of that. So even if your opponent manages to out your turn skip, you can still get Vanity's Ruler. That way, you can't use Nibiru against them. You can't do anything, because it's just that powerful. This deck is so strong right now. The only way I can see Konami stopping this deck at this point is to limit Alpha to 1, and that would really, really hurt the deck. Or like limit Drytron Fafnir. Like, seriously, there are just so many consistency cards in the deck, and like, if they banned Vanity's Ruler, that'd be fine, but it really wouldn't stop the deck. But yeah, that's why Drytron gets my number 1 spot. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the list. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about the list. Do you think there's any decks that I left out? Do you think I should do a rogue deck list? And yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.